God help you if you have a attention deficit disorder for this. You're like, oh, whoa, right? Okay, we got to pay attention for so long to solve this, right? And we can't mess up even the smallest detail, right? Okay, so alpha E, I'm just doing a little check here because I do have ADHD. Okay, so I do have that number there, and I'm going to divide by 2 plus 3 plus alpha A plus 3. Right, and I'm going to store that in alpha. I think I'm on F now. Is that also a number? Am I correct on that one? That is going to be the reading on ammeter 3, isn't it? This guy right here is going to read that current directly, right? So that's A3. Is that what A3 says on the bottom? A3, 0.5987. Yeah, there we go. We're good. Okay. So now we've got that. And are there any other ones? V2, we can find V2. V2 is across this, right? Okay. So I can find that one. I'm going to use this current, right? V2 is IR, right? So it's 0.598779 times 2. Okay. I think that's a throwaway too. We don't need to use that again. So that times 2. That's 1.197. Ta-da. Okay, are there any other meters on here? Oh, there's V3, right? Which conveniently, V3, by the way, is across A. Isn't V3 across A? That's going to be the final pop. Okay, so V3 right here, I can do the same thing. I'm going to use that same current. I'm going to solve V3 the same way I solved V2. Okay, so I go in here and I'm going to go that current, which is this guy, times that resistance, and this resistance is what, our 5.739, right? So V3 is IR, is 0.5987 right? Times 5.739, which for my letters here, this is F and A. So that's Fa, if you're keeping track, right? So alpha F, alpha A. Okay, so alpha F times alpha A, 3.436. Is that correct? Is that what V3 is? Do I have the right answer for V3? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now this, I said this is a double popper. The first pop was this, and by popping I mean we rewrite the circuit with a different voltage. Okay, the second pop is that we're going to have to look at A. A is not just one resistor. A is actually a little mini network, right? So we're going to pop that open. We're going to use this voltage here. So I better store that somewhere. I think I'm on G. Okay, so that guy I've stored in G, right? And this is the final pop. The final pop. Okay, so now I've got a battery. Two batteries walk into a bar. Just kidding. And this one's actually pretty simple. Here's a 5 and a 7 and an 11, right? This battery here now is 3.43647 volts, or whatever I have stored in letter G, right? There is, by all counts, a voltmeter across this guy. There is an ammeter here, right? And we want to solve for those. So we get out the blue pen of solving. What kind of circuit is that? Parallel. Well, strictly speaking, it's both series and parallel, but I'm going to treat it as a parallel circuit. So this current here is independent of this current here, right? So the current through there is just going to be I is V over R. So it's 3.43647 divided by 11. Which is going to be A4, yeah. Okay, hey, grab the right calculator here. Okay, so that answer divided by 11. And I think that's a throwaway. We don't need to use that again. So 0.3124 amps. Is that right for A4? Reads that. Okay, and then we need to find this current here. The current through the 5 and the 7. Okay, and that's easy. That's just going to be 3.4 3647 divided by 5 plus 7, right? So let's see, alpha g, is that where I stored that? Indeed it is. So that divided by parentheses 5 plus 7. I'm going to store this. This is the final one. I think I'm on H, alpha H. Okay? That's 0.28637 amps. Is there an ammeter in here? There's not even. I should have put one there. Okay? So that's the current through there. It's not an answer to any of our questions, but it's the current through the 5 and the 7, right? And now we can find V4, right? V4 is just IR, right? So it's going to be that current times that resistance, right? So 0.28637 times 7. So times 7, I think we're done. 2.0046. Is that right? Did we get that right? Yeah. Did we get it right? So, again, it's the same thing. It's just you reduce the circuit till you can solve it. All the things that you've reduced, you've got to find the voltage across them, whether there's a meter there or not, right? Once you do that, you rewrite the circuit without the rest of the circuit that you've solved. And then here we had to find this voltage. And then we did this. And, you know, it'd be my fondest dream to have like one of these actually be a network too. And go into that, right? You know? This algorithm, by the way, is a recursive algorithm. We solved this circuit, which was part of this, in the same way we solved this circuit. Yeah.
What class did it?
Physics G.
Just leave this on the board right now.
I know, leave it for him. I did that actually. I said, do you guys have this all written down?